Imagine this. You have lived in Germany for 5 years, you have your German passport, and at that moment your spouse lands a job in Barcelona. Or you decide to launch a business in Lisbon, or you simply realize you want to wake up next to the ocean. What do? You pack a bag and go. No visa applications, no work permit queues, no consulate appointments because you hold an EU passport. That is exactly what we are talking about today. Why one EU passport is not just a document from one country, but a key that unlocks 31 countries simultaneously. My name is Diana Sadikova. I'm an immigration lawyer and head of immigration at Natlan. For more than 15 years, our company has been helping clients with relocation, business immigration, and real estate investments in Europe. Residence permit versus citizenship. A critical difference. Here is something people consistently underestimate. A residence permit and citizenships are fundamentally different legal statuses, and confusing them is an expensive mistake. A residence permit gives you the right to live and work in one specific country. Get a German residence permit, you're a resident of Germany. Decide to move to Spain, you start from scratch. New documents, new waiting periods, and a new countdown to permanent residency. EU citizenship works entirely differently. Under Article 21 of the Treaty on the Functioning of the European Union, every EU citizen has the right to move and reside freely within any member state. This is not a privilege, it's a legally guaranteed right. And it applies across all 27 EU member states, plus Norway, Iceland, and Liechtenstein, and Switzerland. That is 31 countries in total. What this means in practice: no work permit needed. An EU passport gives you the right to work in any of these 31 countries with no additional authorization. No special residence application. Instead of filling for a permit, you simply register your address at the local municipality, exactly as any local resident would. One condition applies. If you are not working or studying, you need to demonstrate sufficient financial means and hold health insurance. But for those moving to work, there are no additional barriers whatsoever. What about the EU Blue Card? There is a partial alternative worth understanding. The EU Blue Card offers simplified mobility within the EU for highly qualified workers. After 12 months working for your first EU country, you can move to another member state without a labor market test, the mandatory process where an employer must prove that couldn't find a suitable EU candidates first. That process takes weeks and doesn't always succeed. The Blue Card exempts you from it. However, when you move to a new country, you still apply for a new Blue Card there. The Blue Card is a simplified bureaucratic path. It's not freedom of movement in the full sense that EU citizenship provides. With EU citizenship, you move without applications, without waiting for approval, and without being tied to a specific employer. That is a fundamentally different level of freedom. Beyond mobility, what an EU passport actually gives you. First, equal access to the labor market. In any EU country, you apply for jobs on exactly the same terms as a local citizen. No foreign worker quotas, no special permits. Second, full social protection. Healthcare, pension systems, education for your children on equal terms with citizens of whichever country you live in. Third, political rights. You can vote in local elections and European Parliament elections in your country of residence. And fourth, your status does not expire. A residence permit must be renewed and is tied to a specific basis, for example, employment, business, family. If that basis disappears, your status is at risk. Citizenship doesn't expire, and it's not affected by changing jobs or moving countries. Here's a question I always ask when a client says that they want to settle in a particular European country. What about 5 years from now? Because people change, circumstances change, jobs, families, preferences, all of it shifts. Those who obtained German or French citizenship 5 years ago can now move wherever they want in Europe, without bureaucracy, without losing accumulated years, without starting over. Those who stopped at a residence permit are starting again from zero. The path to citizenship is no longer and requires real commitment, but it's a one-time investment that unlocks 31 countries for life. Tell me in the comments, which EU country are you currently living in or planning to move to? And did you know that with a passport from that country, you can relocate anywhere in the EU without additional permits? I want to understand which scenarios to cover next. And if you want to know which specific road to EU citizenship is realistic for your situation, book a consultation with our team at Atlan using the link in the description. We will map out your legal pathway step by step based on your current status, your timeline, and your long-term goals.